just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologise to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants. Let me raise this. This is what I want to do.
Now then, explorers, 1,000 subs, eh? We did it. Happy days. So on reaching 1,000 subscribers, I thought I'd go through some of my old videos, and I had a little look through on what videos are doing well and what videos aren't. And looking back, my second video that I actually posted was my beginners wild camping kit review. I'll put a link up here somewhere if you've not seen that. Basically what it is, it's a video about what I used and what I bought to get out for the first time, and it's proved helpful for quite a lot of people getting into wild camping. Now I'm into my first winter, and I thought what I'd do is I'd show you how my kit's evolved, what I've done and what I've bought for winter. Basically this whole kit bag is designed for a winter mountain camp, and yeah, we'll go through it for you. So weighing my packs isn't something that I normally do. I'm not really too bothered how much it weighs, I'll just take longer getting up on the hills. But for this video, we'll give it a weigh for you. There's actually a funny story behind this. I asked the mother-in-law to bring round her luggage weighing scales, and what she brought round was this box device thing. Now I don't know what that is. And then I pulled this. She bought me a rape alarm. I don't know if she's trying to tell me something, but it's going in the kit. I've got absolutely no idea how much this weighs. It does feel heavier than my summer setup, as you can imagine, just because it's got more stuff in it. Now this hasn't got water or food in it, so we'll see how much it comes in at. Can you see that? That's quite a heavy pack, that. So I might have to consider changing out some of the items in here, but we'll see. With water, I'll probably take about 2 kilos of water with me as well, so it's 15.39 kilos, and then with food as well, yeah, if I go for the lightweight sachets, probably looking at 16 kilos. That's not too bad, because when I started this, I think I was carrying about 18 kilos up the mountain, so yeah. The first item that you'll notice that's changed is the bag itself. So all summer long I've been using an Osprey Exos 48 litre, which is perfect lightweight for the summer. However, when it comes to winter, and as you'll see in a minute when we get inside the pack, you'll notice that there's quite a lot more extra kit that you need, a lot more bulky items, so hence the extra 20 litres. So I actually got this bag really cheap. Di found it on Facebook Marketplace, sent me over a link, and I just couldn't resist it. I got it for, I think, 35 quid, 45 quid, and it's like brand new. Yeah, it's been to a couple of places around the world, just on, I think the guy who got it off said he used it for 3 weeks on 2 different holidays, just backpacking. So it's basically done nothing, it's like new. It has got the old logo on it, but it doesn't bother me, it's exactly the same pack as the current Kestrel 68. What you've got to understand is obviously we're hiking in winter, as you'll probably know, is you're going to need to layer up. So this is my basic outfit that I wear when I'm hiking in winter, when there's no wind, fairly cold and no rain. So within there, I've got extra layers, which we'll go through in a bit. And that'll tell you exactly how I'm going to stay warm on my winter wild camps. So this bag, the same as the Exos, it has a massive top pocket on it, which is great. You open the top pocket and then all your contents of your bag are inside, but I use the top pocket for a few different items. Quick access items like first aid kit, standard. Tent pegs, just because it's somewhere handy to put them. And my run bag, because that's an essential. In this second section underneath, this is where I store my waterproofs. As I mentioned with layers, I've got a nice Texapor Jack Wolfskin jacket that'll keep me dry for the top half, and then I've also got just some cheap TOG 24 over trousers. Again, I'll be wearing my Oex hiking pants at the same time. That's it for in there. So as I said, there's no water in this bag, but what I have packed is my water bladder. I always take this water bladder with me if I'm not going to be using a water filter. So in the winter, it's ideal to carry your own water up with you, or take water purification tablets. Reason being is if you take your water filter, what can happen overnight is that can freeze, it cracks the element inside, and then it's totally useless. It won't be filtering your water for you. So unfortunately in winter, guys, you have to carry a bit of extra weight. On the sides, I've just got my 4-class seat pad. You're always going to need something to insulate your bum from the ground when you're sat in your tent. In this side pocket here, for the mountains, I've got my full cooker kit. So I've got myself a jet boil flash too. As you know, I've had this quite a while, and I'm thinking for winter wild camping, I wouldn't really want to take anything else up in the mountains. Yeah, we do steaks, yeah, we do some amazing dishes in the summer, or when we're on the coast, or even in the woods when you've got a fire, but yeah, when you're up a mountain, all you want is, you want the quickest, easiest method to cook. So with this, you just boil your water up and you use one of them boil bags. Right, so we're going to take a quick look inside now. Peel the top back. Sticking with clothing, I've got myself a pair of really warm Oex gloves. They're a bit dirty from the last trip. They've got hardly any dexterity, so I do actually wear a different pair in a day. They're just thin, and they have them smartphone things on the end, so you can still use your phone, obviously, for all my filming and whatnot. But these are more for the evening, or if it gets really cold. Now, in standard Shaun Explores true fashion, it wouldn't be a wild camping trip without some booze. So I've packed this in here, and that was actually included in the weight. This is my favourite bamboo. Next is my tent. So this is a Nature Hike Cloud Peak 2 in here. And basically what I've done is I've took it out of the stuff sack that it comes with, and I've bought an Oex compression dry sack. And what I've been able to do is just get it much more manageable size and smaller. It does compress down smaller than this. But as you'll see in a bit, I tend to bag all my stuff up. Now this might be personal preference, or it might be how everyone does it, but what I like to do is try and keep this at the top of the rucksack. Reason being, if you're out and the weather's terrible and it's absolutely lashing it down, it means you don't have to get everything out of your bag before you get your tent out. So if it's at the top, all you're going to do is undo your bag, pull your tent out, cover your bag back up, and then you can just get on with setting up your shelter and take everything else out when you're inside the shelter. Next up is my electricals bag. Again, it's just an Oex Dry bag, roll down top, and we'll have a little look at what's in here in a minute. After that, I need to get another dry sack for this. This is just a pair of cheap Aldi skiing salopettes. So for the evenings, I'll be able to do some astrophotography, have a drink, and put the world to rights with my mates. So we're going to start coming onto the sleep system now. Got my Thermarest Neo Air X Firm, probably top of the range for extreme winter camping. Got this recently for Christmas off the missus. Tried it out a couple of times, been down to -4 in it, and I didn't feel a thing. That was combined with my sleeping bag, which I'll show you in a minute. Next is another Oex Dry Sack. This one's my clothes bag. I'll show you what I take in that in a minute. Next is another little Oex Dry bag. This is just my Possibles bag. This has got bits and bobs that I may or may not use, but it's always handy to take with you. But again, I'll show you that in a minute. I also like to take this little luxury with me as well. This is a Cascade wild camping table. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos when I've shown inside my tent, people have commented and said I've got the tidiest tent on YouTube. I'm not too sure about that, but this certainly helps in keeping your things tidy inside your tent. Lastly, a nice little feature that I like about this bag, it does have a bottom access. So you undo these two clips here, and you undo this zip. It covers a separate compartment. Now I like to keep my sleeping bag in the bottom of my bag, and the reason behind that is if you put it at the bottom of your bag, you can compress everything down on top of it, and it can make it even smaller. So this sleeping bag is my new winter sleeping bag. Now, if you've been following me recently, you'll have seen exactly what it is. A few people have commented and got in touch to ask what it's like. Is it any good? It is a £300 sleeping bag, so, you know, opinions do matter. And the sleeping bag is a Thermarest Questar 0F-18C. And I absolutely love this thing. Like I say, I've been down to -4 and I was absolutely fine in it. I've even used it in the house last week when we did a camp inside, and I wasn't too hot. Granted, I didn't zip it up. I did get a bit too warm, but it's strange, it's mad. It's as if it regulates your temperature. If you know anything about down sleeping bags, do they regulate your temperature? Please mention in the comments below, because I've got no idea how it does what it does. Anyway, bags of room. We'll give a full review on this in the future. There are a couple more things to mention inside the bag. So, tent poles, I like to pack them separately. Reason being is you can press your tent a lot smaller without these in, and these can always just slide down the side anywhere. Nice and easy. So another feature I was looking for in my winter backpack was pockets on the hip straps. The Exos 48 doesn't actually have these, and I've kind of been jealous of people who have. Reason being is you don't have to keep things in your pockets. Now in this particular one, a couple of EDC items, everyday carry items. I've got a little Olight torch, very bright torch, just takes a little AA, so if you carry a couple of AA batteries in your possibles bag, you've always got a get out of jail free card. And also what I like to keep in there is just a little Opinel number 7 knife. Reason being is you never know when you're going to need a blade. If you need to cut something open, I don't know, something that you're eating, or a bit of cord or something, I don't know. It's just handy to have. I found lots of uses for this when I've been out and about. You've probably noticed I've got quite a lot of different little bags in my rucksack, and the reason behind that is basically for this one, as I mentioned earlier, it's just to compress it down nice and small, and it's a better manageable pack than what you can have with the original stuff sack. Also, it's waterproof as well, so when you take your tent down in the rain, you can chuck it in this dry sack, chuck the dry sack in your bag, and you know it's not going to wet anything. That's that one. Now these ones, as I mentioned earlier, got a possibles bag, an electricals bag, and a clothes bag. So what I've done there straight away is I've separated 3 key areas. So we're going to start with the possibles bag. So as I mentioned, the possibles bag is basically for bits and bobs that you may or may not use. Things that you wish you had if you didn't have them. So in my possibles bag, to start off, got a glow stick. That's just in case you want to rave on the mountain. You know what we're like. We like to have a few beers and we like to have a rave. No, but in all seriousness, if you end up getting clagged in whilst you're up on the mountain, it's a good idea to attach one of these to your tent. So if you do decide to get up and go for a wee in the middle of the night, you're more than likely going to be able to spot the glow with this rather than a dark green tent. Next is my water filter. As I said earlier, filtering water in winter isn't the best idea, but if you spill all your water or you end up using it all and you've got absolutely no water left, then it's better to use one of these and actually have access to water than not. Also got, as you know, I do my filming, a couple of spare phone holders in case my proper one breaks. I've got my Phoenix head torch, super bright head torch this. It's amazing. It is absolutely blinding. Now you're probably asking why this isn't in my electricals bag, and the reason being is I've already got enough electricals with camera kit and drones and all sorts, so I do just keep this in here and it's quick access. I know where it's kept. It always stays in here. It gets charged and gets put back in here. Next, little pack of tissues in case you need to go to the toilet. Toothpaste, because you're going to need to brush your teeth if you've been on the ale all night. I do also put a toothbrush in here when I go away. I haven't got one at the minute because I've ended up using it at home. A pen, in case I meet any of you guys up in the mountains and you want a Shaun Explores signature. A little carabiner. And the all-important selection of earplugs. If it does get windy in the night, it can be very, very loud in that tent and you're more than likely not going to get any sleep. Bang a couple of these in your ears and it's got me through till morning. Next is the electricals bag, so we'll have another look through this as well. First of all, power bank. Really important bit of kit if you're going up into the mountains. I suggest everybody who goes up to the mountains for a wild camp takes one of these. If your phone runs out of battery and you get into trouble, what are you going to do? If your torch runs out of battery and you've got to get off the mountain, what are you going to do? Exactly. If you have one of these, it gives you a bit of a safeguard. I use it religiously because obviously on my filming kit, I need to recharge my filming kit and it keeps me going. Nice little sticker on there for me 30 seconds cold water challenge set by JRP Outdoors. Shout out, lad. Just a couple of cables in here. Next, I've got my brand new Goal Zero tent torch. This thing is amazing. I've known people who've got them. I've been on camps when they've been used and they're just fantastic. He says, there you go. Super bright tent torch. Hang this up from anywhere around camp and it lights up such a big area. It's really good. In fact, some of my filming's actually been done under this light and it's come out really well in pitch black, so happy days. Looking forward to getting some use out of this. And then last but not least is my drone. So it's actually a DJI Mavic Mini. I know I haven't got the gimbal protector on here, so eager eyes, don't give me grief. What I've done is I've put the DJI Mavic Mini in a really cheap case that I got with a cheap 30 quid drone that flew away the first time I used it. But the case is much smaller than the Mavic Mini drone, so it's worked out really well. It's compact for in my bag. Just have a little look at this now. So there's quite a few bits in here. I've got a spare phone that I use. I don't use my normal phone. It's covered in paint because I used it as an MP3 player when I was doing my house up, but yeah, it does the job. It's a screen for me to see what I'm doing. Take a spare battery with me. I don't actually fly the drone a lot. I tend to get my shots pretty quick. Got a controller. And then you've got the infamous drone as well. The one that I lost down the plug hole at Lady Bower Reservoir. Again, if you've not seen that video, I'll put a link up here. And last but not least is the clothes bag. Again, really good idea to put one of these in an Oex Dry Sack. You can compress it right down, squash all the air out of it, seal it up, and it just makes it really compact for what I've got in here. So I've got quite a few bits in here. I'll have a quick look. So I guess the most important thing for me in an evening when I'm wild camping up on the mountains is a down jacket. Now don't take a look at this floppy down jacket. I've actually washed it and I only had one tennis ball to tumble dry it with. So unfortunately it's going to be washed again. I have now bought the Graingears wash and protect kit with the little spiky balls that come with it, so my daughter won't be nicking my down tennis balls to give to the dog. Oh yeah, a down jacket is massively important. These things keep you so warm. This one's a Berghaus Extreme Hydro Down jacket. I've had this for a couple of years. Do you know what? It's got a couple of patches on it, some Gear Aid tech tape from where I ripped it on barbed wire, but it's just been faultless for me. Other than me wrecking it, it's spot on. Keeps you roasting in the evenings, especially if you're moving around up and down little hills, looking at the stars and the sunset and stuff. You're just not going to get cold. Now, if I combine this with my cheap Aldi ski salopettes, I'll be pretty toasty, I think, even on the coldest of evenings. Obviously, you don't know aim to sleep in a down jacket, but if you do find yourself in a situation where you wake up in the early hours of the morning and you're freezing cold, you can always chuck on your down jacket as an extra layer, and it will add a good layer of protection for you. Okay. Next in the sleeping bag is just a cheap set of Aldi merino wool leggings. These do keep you really warm. In my sleeping bag, I literally just wear these on my legs with my boxies and just whatever t-shirt I've been wearing for the day. I like to wear a cotton t-shirt when I sleep and it keeps me nice and warm so far. Next is a synthetic thermal top, just a moisture wicking top, a spare one. It's always a good idea to take a spare one because if you do end up stinking from your hike the day before, you can go down to something a little bit fresher. But again, you don't want to sleep in somewhere like this because it tends to give me irritations under my armpits. Spare socks, always important. Spare set of hiking socks. You don't want to go to sleep in the socks that you've been wearing during the day. Reason being, your feet have been sweating. They may not feel wet, but believe me, they are wet. Moisture goes to your feet, and that's the first thing that gets cold. So just before you get in bed, take your socks off, give them a quick rub, chuck a new pair of socks on, and your feet will be toasty in no time. Next one, spare bills. You've got to take spare bills with you for obvious hygiene reasons. And that's it. That's my winter kit. That's my new winter bag. I better pull these in a little bit. Get it a bit closer. There you go. Feels very comfortable. Doesn't feel too heavy at 13 kg, but as I said, I have got to add some water into this. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you learned something from it, don't forget to give a thumbs up. If there's anything you want me to review in the future, leave a comment down below. And most of all, if you want to be reminded about my videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. Thanks very much.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.